The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Unalaska, Alaska, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 34929. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting at the front bumper, you'll find on the passenger and driver side 2 tow hooks. Moving just inside of that location in the center, you'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker. Moving up onto the bumper extension, you'll find 3 storage locations. D-handle gains you access into these spaces. As we move to the front section, you'll find your headlight structure housing a low and high beam headlight and turn indicator. Directly in the grille area, you'll find 2 forward-facing emergency warning lights. As we move to the front fender forward section, you'll find an emergency warning light. This is your intersection light. Moving down to the front axle, you'll find Continental tires, steel wheels, and your front lock. Moving up to the badge area, you'll find the XL, F550, and unit identifier 0664. As we move around to the mirrors, they do move in and out manually. You also have an indicator and turn indicator light on the mirror itself. Moving now to the running boards, you'll find full-length running boards from the front of the cab to the rear of the body. They do have LED lights in the stepwell area. You'll also find a LED indicator for battery charge. As we move just underneath, you'll find strip lights located underneath as the perimeter lighting. As we move forward to that location, this is the step light just under the door well area. Moving now to your auto charge. When plugged into Shoreline Power, your auto charge system will indicate the status. Moving now to the keyed door locks and handle. As we move around interior now, we'll start first on the top section with your window controls and mirror controls. Just down from that location are your electric door locks, latch, and lock. You'll also find a reflective material in the upper section and all of our warning placards located on the lower section. Here's some close-ups of the window control and mirror control and door lock. You'll also find a placard for the height, length, and gross vehicle weight rating. Close-up of our warning placards. Also, you'll find your seating capacity for 5 people. As we move upward from this location, you'll find reflective door tape. Moving just inside the cab to the driver's seat, you'll find comfort controls, accelerator, brake, and parking brake. On the left-hand side of the dash, you'll find your headlight control. Just underneath that, you'll find the filter minder, which is for your engine air intake. Just to the right of that location, directly under the steering column, you'll find this yellow placard. This placard is manufacturer information, indicating the date of manufacture, the 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation, all of the fluid capacities for each device, fluid capacity, and also fluid type, including the VIN number. Close up here of the brake release and parking brake. Moving just down from this location, you'll find on the A-pillar the hood release. Let's move up now to the steering wheel. You'll find steering wheel controls along with an airbag located in the center. As we move through to the dash area, on the left-hand side, you'll find your tachometer. On the right-hand side, you'll find the speedometer. Directly at the very top of the cluster is where you'll find your oil pressure, water temperature, fuel level, and temperature of your transmission. Directly in the center, you'll find diagnostic information. As we move to the center overhead, you'll find a display for your backup camera. You'll also find programmable switches. Moving just downward from this location, you'll find your master battery switch. This is just at the right knee of the operator. As we move to the center dash area, you'll find your traction control. Moving just to the right, you'll find hazard lights. Media center located directly in the center. Moving just down to the left, you'll find your 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, or 4-wheel low selector switch. and at the very bottom you'll find climate control. Moving just to the right of the dash area, you'll find 12-volt access. Let's move down to the center console area, first starting at the top of the center console with some tally lights. Battery, OK to engage the high idle, do not move truck, open door, and low voltage. You'll also find your head system for your siren module. You'll also find a set of switches controlling emergency lights and also scene lights. To the right side of the operator, you'll find additional map book storage. As we look to the rear seat, there is occupancy for 3 individuals. Moving now to the rear section of the cab, you'll find all of our safety and warning information placards at the bottom of the door panel. Let's go ahead and take a look at the front section of the bulkhead. It's where you'll find your shoreline inlet. This is a 20 amp auto eject plug. Now moving to the body, we'll find at the very top section a side-facing scene light. To the rear of the apparatus, an emergency warning light. As we move downward from this location, you'll find just to the rear of the axle an additional lower emergency warning light. And right next to that, you'll find the fill location for your fuel. As we move just in front of the axle, you'll find storage location for 2 wheel chocks. Let's go ahead and take a look at the compartments with the doors in the open position. Once again, just under the front axle, close up here of the wheel chocks. As we move to the very first compartment, you'll find the auto charge module. This will be active when plugged into shore power. The release mechanism for the pull-out and tilt downward shelf. SCBA bottle storage location just in front of the axle in the pan door. Adjustable shelving. As we move to the rear section of the wheel, you'll find mud flaps and also dual wheels, once again Continental. Close up here of the emergency light and gasoline only label indicating your fuel location. As we move to the forward section, to the rear section, you'll find shoreline outlets inside the compartment that were active when plugged into shoreline power. Release mechanism for your tool board located on the lower right. You also have 12-volt access for winch capabilities on the side of the vehicle. This is the receiver hitch for that winch. Close up of the side of the vehicle, upper portion, side-facing floodlight. As we move to the rear, emergency warning light. General view of the driver's side and rear section. Let's move now just under the tailboard where you'll find tow hooks on the passenger and driver's side attached to the frame rail. As we move just inside of that location, you have electrical power and also a 9,000 maximum allowable winch rating. Receivers located in the center. You also have the ability for towing. There are 2 different types of towing mechanism plugs on the right and left side of the hitch. Let's move from this location, talk a little bit about at the very bottom, you have an emergency warning light and a backup light. As we move upward from that location, you'll find a turn indicator and at the top a brake light. Moving all the way to the top, a rear-facing scene light, an emergency light, and backup camera. As we move to the rear section, roll-up door, let's go ahead and take a look inside. Adjustable toolbox location here and adjustable shelf and pull-out tray. As we move to the top, you'll find your light tower directly in the center. Also, top storage location on the passenger and driver side in these compartments. LED lighting inside the compartments. Grab handles on the very top section of the lid. Let's talk a little bit about some warning placards. First, on the left, you have a warning entanglement hazard. Because of possibility of lines from above, there is the possibility of entanglement. Also, fall, never ride on the vehicle while it is in motion. And also, warning regarding when climbing onto the vehicle, always face the vehicle while climbing. This is the ladder, which will release and extend outward for a comfortable climb. general view here of the rear and passenger side of the vehicle. Let's start first at the rear compartment, just underneath that, where you'll find your electrical power 12 volt for your winch and also exhaust and receiver. As we move now through the compartments, all compartment doors are in the open position. This is the winch just inside the compartment placed here for storage purposes. As we move to the left, you'll find a tool board release mechanism on the lower portion. Just to the rear of the axle, an emergency warning light, same configuration as you have on the driver's side. Dual wheels, Continental tires, steel wheels. As we move forward to this location, you'll find a pull-out and tilt downward tray. Also, you'll find an upper portion adjustable shelf with netting and seatbelt secure. As we move to the forward section to the pan door, you'll find the ability for 4 SCBA bottles with retaining straps. And at the very bottom section, you'll find an additional pull-out tray. Just up into the next section, you'll find additional pull-out tray, release mechanism on the lower right, also LED lighting on both sides inside the compartments. Release mechanism, once again, lower right-hand side, this is a pull-out tray. Let's move to the exterior. Just over the top middle door is where you'll find your side-facing floodlight. As we move to the rear of the apparatus, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. Let's take a general view here of the passenger side cab, full-length running boards. You'll find underneath those running boards are perimeter lighting at each point of entry. As we move just above the running board, you'll also find additional LED lights. These are for the running board lights. Let's move interior to the door panel itself, where you'll find all of our safety and warning information placards, in addition with a reflective band. Let's move to the rear bench, where you'll find seating for 3 personnel. As we move to the forward section, passenger side, once again, safety and warning information placards and also reflective band. Let's go ahead and go inside into the officer space, passenger area. First, comfort controls on the seat. As we move to the center console area, you'll also find the VMUX diagnostic port just in front of the console. As we move to the A-pillar on the passenger side, you'll also find a grab handle. Let's move back exterior to the front section of the vehicle, where you'll find your badging for F550 XL, also the unit identifier 0664. As we move to the front fender, it's where you'll find your intersection light, emergency warning light. Congratulations, Unalaska, Alaska, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 34929. If you have any questions regarding your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.